Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where we are continuing on in the fourth case of the game, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Which I believe last time we left off we were at a save point, so to be continued. So I think we're going to be at the very end of the trial finally.
I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury.
Please grant it to us.
And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. Do not have a third, please. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman.
We are, my lord.
Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime.
All right. The jurors' contentions again.
The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
Okay, I think that's definitely going to be it. I still haven't figured out how the stabbing happened, so we'll see.
Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
But we don't know if the window was closed. I feel like she's lying or she's just not telling us, you know?
Dearie me, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'd be in a tidy bit of trouble.
Ugh, I can't remember what voice I did for him. This old man, he always is saying something that seems random, like it doesn't have anything to do with the case, but then it ends up having to do with the case, so I bet we're gonna have to press on this one for sure.
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. With one notable exception, of course.
Call him out.
My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover...
Oh, breaking it again.
No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime.
Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone.
No.
I fail to see how it can be argued any other way.
I just have to say, I like that we are able to do the summation examination because, you know, it opens the door for us to change the ruling. I kind of wish we could do that with the judge normally. You know what I mean? Like, we never ever get to really argue against anything that he has in his mind because most of the time it's like, that's it, his decision, or we have somebody barging into the courtroom to change his mind or whatever, right? But I do like with the jury, at least we can directly affect how they're thinking compared to the judge, you know? Because most of the time the judge is like so easily swayed by the prosecution. We're like, no, judge, come on, man.
That means, I'm afraid, that during the summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here?
Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those two details are all you need to provide.
That sucks. We can't even go the whole like, I mean, this is what Ace Attorney does though. It's like most of the time we can't even do what normal lawyers do, which is as long as they can provide a shred of like doubt into the whole reasonable doubt thing. If they can provide reasonable doubt, usually that's how they get their clients off the hook, you know? They don't have to say, oh yes, I know exactly who did it and how and why. But in this series, we always have to do that hard, difficult job of solving everything. Because the cops and the prosecution don't freaking do their jobs right. We always got to do it for them. It just makes me really salty. But that's just how this series goes, you know?
Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted.
Whew, excuse me, it's warm in this room. Oh, spring is coming, y'all. Now I'm getting warm in here, which means soon I'm gonna have to start turning on a fan. That sucks. Oh, and there goes my dog barking.
And there I was thinking this might be hard.
But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends.
No pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel. Oh, yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now.
Always slapping.
Clearly, the key to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garadeb.
We have a book that disappeared from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident, and the fourth book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far. Whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garadeb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
Okay. Okay. It's kind of annoying that she's still allowed to be a juror number. You know, member, not number. The defense's rebuttal.
The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? There's 3 books of his.
Alright. So Sign told me that I should just press everybody because some funny stuff might happen. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Hold it!
But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3.
Well, what difference does it make?
There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord.
Yes, that's the part I have a problem with.
Sorry.
Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, his landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said.
That's not exactly how I put it, no.
Enjoying a fiery scrap.
Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nebunese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it?
Why do you always have your head turned to the side like that? It's really weird.
I suppose it is, since I've nothing witty left to say.
Okay. Let's press.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Oh my, such delight on your face. But I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
That's great.
The way he said it, and his totally neutral face. It's like, so?
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see? Modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say?
And not at all extreme.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So, despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
Ma'am?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right, I'm glad you admitted rational there.
Alright. How about you, sir?
Hold it!
But what about the possibility that the window was open?
Exactly.
What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been.
How can you be so sure?
The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see?
But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you?
It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it.
Then what's the point in even having windows, huh? Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Oh, sorry. I got heated there. Somehow, I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise.
Okay, let's ask her. Frickin' stupid, annoying. Ugh, I don't like her.
Hold it!
Her or her husband.
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
Oh, she hit that poor guy again.
Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes.
Please don't hurt me.
But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garridub.
Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute. Nothing more.
That was hardly jovial, ma'am. Oh my god, that poor guy.
And I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Ma'am.
Right, well, we'll see about that. But what about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garridub's relentless onslaughts.
She damn lucky. I would have been like, Which, if you touch me one more time, we're gonna have a problem.
It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
Maybe his wife abuses him too, I don't know.
Look, I just want to get this over with.
Okay, something about his pay, yeah.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future's at stake here.
Well, him and me both then, like I said before.
What?
I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning.
What?
You heard me? My missus isn't one to mess about, you know? She can be fierce, believe you me.
Okay, so yeah, he's totally used to being abused. You poor man.
Another shining example of marital bliss, then.
Gosh, when I get married, I never want to be that kind of wife, you know? That I abuse my spouse or I make them feel like they're below me or like they're nothing. That's horrible. I mean, there might be times we get frustrated or angry at each other, but I would hope that we're not like that, you know?
A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, do you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember.
Sorry?
It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out.
Oh. Wow.
Helpful?
I wonder if Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf.
Don't even go there, Mr. Sato. There must be some way to jog his memory about this.
I don't know. Alright, you weirdo. How are you gonna pertain to the case this time? He's talking about fire, so,
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case?
Sorry? What's that? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Could you tell us more about that fire?
It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, it did. Oh, wow. It was what a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship?
Oh, he didn't know about that. Okay, that's funny. Of course not. It was an angel cake. To celebrate my birthday, obviously.
It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. Oh, wow. 75? That's dangerous. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how did you catch a cold from a fire?
What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it. Ah, here we go.
The windows.
The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
Oof. I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason.
Come on, man. It's so obvious.
We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street, as well as how he or she could have done it.
Yes, but once again, the juror statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Wow, I said that weird. Alternative, not alternative. Or whatever I said.
Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit.
Okay, for sure. Okay, for sure we're going to pit this guy about the window versus the old man.
Objection!
These two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel?
Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me.
Huh? What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up.
Juror number 3. Do you see?
Oh, me? See what, sir?
Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter.
Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Duh.
Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadeb household, and Mr. Garadeb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my!
Oh, my hat!
Oh, time to look around. Let's pursue.
Excuse me!
Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that?
Oh my god. Ma'am? Wow.
Mrs. Garadeb.
Oh, dearie me! What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am?
It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window?
Well, I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating?
The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window.
Come on, witch.
And what if we did? Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire?
Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
Of course, I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garadeb's formal statement.
Now you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten, but it's true.
Let's see if can we press to hear more?
Hold it!
The 4th book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garadeb told us he had been reading.
Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading?
I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because she's stupid.
Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on as well, you know.
I really don't.
I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
Oh? Okay. What's going on, sir?
Excuse me.
It's that weird position he does.
What is it, juror number 5?
You know something? I've remembered what it was. That memory I'd blocked out.
Ah,
It was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back. It's like, how dare you? Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrideb, or the maid, I'll have you know.
the man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time.
Yes.
It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh dear, what a disaster.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy.
Oh?
The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost the day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear.
Oh my god.
Stuck into the wall next to me, it did, about an inch deep.
So... Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Holy crap. I see where we're going finally. So his wife threw a knife at him. And Mrs. Garrideb, most likely, threw a knife at her husband, because she's psycho. Through the open window. And somehow it landed inside the woman's back? But how the angle is the problem still? The only way I could think is if she was like turned or like bent over at the time. Oh, wait. The book went first. So she probably bent down to pick it up. And then the knife came and plunged into her back. Oh my god. That's so crazy. Typical Ace Attorney. Just like Danganronpa. Sometimes like the mechanics of everything is so extremely insane. I can't believe we're going to be able to solve this mystery. Like, if this man hadn't said this right now, would we even be able to put 2 and 2 together? Because it's not like Mrs. Garrideb remembers or she's going to admit, oh yeah, I threw a knife. You know what I mean? Like, we're so lucky that he's saying this and that we're going to be able to put 2 and 2 together. Oh, Ace Attorney. The coincidences are a bit too much sometimes, but it is what it is. It's crazy and I love it. I mean, that's the only explanation we can come up with at this point, so.
No words, just terror.
I could smell it then, you know. That god-awful stench of the Thames.
I believe it's pronounced Thames, which is weird because you see how it's spelled, but whatever.
I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy bunks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, you don't throw things at people, you throw people. That's the difference.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Flashback to all the times that she threw him.
Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like.
Oh no.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack, you crazy woman?
Ryunosuke, are you sure you want to marry this woman in the future? I'm kind of worried for your sake. I mean, there's no guarantee she's the one he marries, but I mean, it feels kind of obvious, right?
Especially with our dear beloved Kazuma gone.
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare.
Okay, woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. Okay. I'm wondering... Do I pit these two in order for her to say, yes, I threw a knife? Like, what's my best next step at this point? I'm kind of debating. Oh my gosh, my dog is barking. Hold on, guys. So, I want to look at the evidence really quick. Knife in her back. So this is the weapon. Have I looked at this? Can't find anything out of place. I was hoping to see if it had like any initials or anything on it, but no, I think they would have mentioned it before. What about the tip? It looks a little damaged? Yeah. I can't believe I didn't see this before.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo, just look at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm looking at this right now. Oh my gosh, what if I didn't know this?
You're right. Well spotted, Mr. Sato.
I wonder what could have happened to it.
Yes. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you?
Oh dear, I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful.
Okay. Is there anything else that's important about this knife that I should know before I continue? No? Okay. They didn't mention knife in her back. Large knife. When we see it. Oof. Let's see. Is there nothing else? Reporting officer, wrote a beat. So I went to the back. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury. Okay. Oh my gosh, Kiki! Why are you barking so much today? I'm really not sure if I should continue to talk to her about it, or if I should just already jump to what I've figured out and have what he says go against what she said. I'm gonna save. It's got a cheat sheet to do this, but I want to save and see. I mean, I should just go for it. I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try what she says versus what he says.
Objection!
Oh,
These two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once.
Okay, I think I got it right. Yay! I don't have to talk to the juror number 4 anymore. Yay!
Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We've demonstrated that the fourth book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garadeb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garadeb household to the street below.
Eh? What's that now?
After all, Mrs. Garadeb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband.
Yes.
Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? That you were the one who stabbed that poor woman, you stupid witch.
I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened.
Yep, she's defensive now.
Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala.
What?
As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house. But what? What was it?
Here we go.
I'm really taking a big gamble here.
Yeah.
That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least, this warrants further investigation. All right, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garadeb household to the scene of the crime was
The knife. Yeah.
Take that!
I wonder about the tip of it being, broken?
juror number 4, Mrs. Garadeb.
What now?
I must apologize in advance for this, but I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before?
Oh, you gonna lie? Huh? You gonna lie?
Good Lord, Counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man.
Oh, Susato's there.
My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garadeb was hurling anything she could.
Oh my god. Kiki, stop! She's so annoying today. I'm gonna close my door. Sorry. Which means I'll have to endure the heat.
Mrs. Garadeb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window.
Poor man. He's lucky to be alive, honestly.
A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene.
You can't seriously believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? Huh? Even my missus hasn't got a name like that.
Yes, I admit there are many details we don't yet understand, but that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my.
Ooh! Mrs. Garadeb, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not?
Don't lie now.
Oh,
Okay. Who's saying this? My lord?
I I wish to change my decision.
Alright.
I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
Mr. Foreman? Wow, okay. I'll take it.
I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mind.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents.
Nice.
We did it.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo.
So, as a result of the defense's submission examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed.
Please remove that woman as a jury member. She is not unbiased. She should not be allowed to still be there. She may have committed this crime accidentally, but still.
2 jurors call guilty, against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided, and this trial will continue.
You stupid old man. Why didn't you agree with everybody? All right. Okay. All right. Well, we will find out what's going to happen next in the next episode. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. And until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.